started.
Now we are live. The news on Andrian Newey. Let's see. Well, before that, Horson stuff. Let's see. The fuck is this? Don't know. I don't play Horson to know whatever this change. Oh, this one I somewhat know, but I don't care. Oh my god, so many cards. Oh, this one card have changed for some reason. Oh my god, how many cards have they failed to make it good? Okay. Okay, game as Drug, Warlock, Warrior. So a Warrior will be played. And then we need to remove... Oh, we can't remove this one. Play 6 min-rates, min-card. Okay, we will never do that. Fun. Why the fuck do you have this? Why not after this? Fucking miniature-sized mini-cards. Do I even have that card? Eller cards. Miniaturize. No. Thank you for this. Can we find it? There we have it. Fuck me, I hate fucking spelling this fucking retarded stuff. Stop making new cards with new text. Why not fucking Better Cry? Better Cry, give this. Okay, I don't have anyone. Wow, what a nice quest. Fuck you. Why the fuck did this need to be the fucking one of the first one? $11 days. Oh, fuck me. You can fuck yourself. Minute. There we have one. Man, do I really have to? I don't want to collect this stuff. Oh yeah, fuck me. Just why is... Okay, it will be... Oh shit. We we'll go back. Okay, warrior. Mage, priest, paladin, rogue. Come on. Play free gamers, rogue, warlock. Oh my god, 20 damage. Okay, but I will play warrior. Oh, maybe the brawl. Just the time of brawl doing. Fucking create the incubate one if which two cards work best together. Show him, choose two cards and nice. Okay, 3 games with warrior. And while that is happening, time to watch the news. What's happening in Formula 1? Andrian Newey is set to leave Red Bull. What?
Well, the F1 shocks just keep coming and coming as we have reports that Andrian Newey is set to leave Red Bull, ending his long association with the Austrian team. But what could this mean for Red Bull going forward? What is the
It could means nothing. More important, what will that means now? Is he joining another team or is finally going away?
All out, and how will this
and have some rest?
Affect the grid? My name is Steph Wentworth, and joining me to discuss this we have Jake Boxall Leg. JBL, let's get straight into it. What have we heard so far? What are the rumours that are swirling around?
So, long story short is that, well, Andrian Newey is set to leave Red Bull, which, let's be honest, it has been talked about over the last few weeks. We weren't sure about the veracity of that, given everything that's kind of happened over the last couple of months with regards to Red Bull, the allegations surrounding Christian Horner.
So information on Andrian Newey leaving got out faster than Max ever leaving. That's weird.
His place in the team and the ensuing power struggle as well. There's been
the power struggle.
Kind of a lot of, let's say, opportunities to kind of unsettle the current establishment of the team. It seems now that this has come to fruition. It seems that the current situation, Andrian Newey is probably, let's say, found untenable, and it does seem that he's on his way out of the team, which has been confirmed by sources close to Autosport. So, yeah, it seems that he's going to go and plough his own furrow once again. And yeah, it will be very interesting to see where he ends up and what happens to Red Bull as well. You know, obviously, Newey has been their talisman for the past 18 years, so it's quite a bit.
And also, shit, need to for the people who want to know, 313 fishes are for now collected. It's a long road ahead, but one day it will maybe happen.
Big turn of events.
Oh, come on. Go away. Oh shit. We don't need this ad. This scam ad.
And there has been a fair bit of speculation surrounding Red Bull in recent months. Is this a case of it's the first domino to fall? Could there be more to follow? Could there be more set to leave potentially after Newey?
I think there's certainly the possibility for that, and that's simply because of Newey's status in the team. He's been that figurehead that has been, you know, associated with the huge successes that the team's had over the past, 20 years, nearly 20 years in Formula 1. You know, responsible for the cars that.
Really? Was it really necessary using execute on that? Feels like a little overkill, but sure.
That started with the RB5 in 2009, and then later went on from 2010 to 2013, went on and won the championship, and now the current successors as well. He's been cited as the designer that has understood the kind of remit of the ground effect aerodynamics the best. To his past experience working in, when they were first around in the 70s and 80s. And so with that, Red Bull would lose a huge bank of knowledge, someone that's had huge successes, and someone who's also very influential. And that's the most pertinent thing as well. He's going to have a number of people that wherever he goes, they'll follow because they want to continue to work with one of F1's greatest designers and technical minds. That's the crux of it.
But that would be something. He owns Williams. And then make them great again.
The people within Red Bull currently outside the design department also decide that as well. We're talking management, we're also talking drivers here as well. There's the potential for this to really shake things up beyond the current order. It's funny. We thought that we were in for a pretty boring, silly season, but it's not just drivers, it's designers as well.
Absolutely. And you know what? We thought that Lewis Hamilton was kicking all of this off with his silly season, and he started it all. So it's very interesting now that...
So maybe news from Mercedes that people will soon just leave to Ferrari.
Extended far beyond the drivers. But as you mentioned, Newey is...
That would be something. And Newey finally joins Ferrari to make them great.
Such a big part of that Red Bull team and has been so integral to its development in the past years. How is this going to affect Red Bull and potentially, current world champion Max Verstappen? How is this going to affect him going forward?
Well, what we know is that Verstappen has a exit contract in his deal that if Dr. Helmut Marko, the Red Bull advisor, leaves the team, then Verstappen will be free to do so as well. What we don't know is whether he has the same clause for Newey. And in the event that he does, he will then have to make a choice of whether to stay or whether he's going to potentially follow Newey to wherever he lands, if there's a space available. There's a lot of decision making to happen here. Verstappen has said that he'll be happy to stay at Red Bull as long as the key pieces remain in place. The key piece is now gone, and it's basically a case of where does Verstappen go? What is his next step? Do you follow Adrian Newey to wherever he goes and continue your championship successes, or do you stick it out with Red Bull? Now, Red Bull does have it must be said that Red Bull has a brilliant technical department. There's huge strength and depth, and Newey is, to a certain degree, a figurehead for that. But there are so many more talented individuals. Pierre Vacher is the technical director. There's guys like Ben Waterhouse as well. Paul Monaghan. All of them have been responsible for the design and also the race team running of Red Bull's championship efforts over the last few seasons. So it doesn't just stop with Newey, and we should give everybody else their due credit. But again, he's such a sort of figurehead, such an influence, and such a brilliant technical mind that it would be very, very difficult, I would surmise, for Verstappen to not consider following him if there is a vacancy available.
Max and Andrian Newey joins Williams.
As we know, there are many seats available still yet to be filled on the grid for 2025 and onwards. But where could Adrian Newey go? Let's talk about that, because he has said previously, he'd love to work with the likes of Sir Lewis Hamilton and Fernando Alonso. They are both at two different teams who he has been speculated to be linked with. Obviously, there's the links with Lewis and Ferrari, and now recently Aston Martin have been trying to coax him and get him to join their side. So what are his options there?
I think you've laid out the two key ones there, Steph. Ferrari has been linked with him. Obviously, Fred Vasseur has put together this big push to get a lot of big technical minds together to kind of reinstate Ferrari as the driving force at the front of F1. And it's very sort of like shades of Jean Todt back in 1993, 94, that kind of era when he was setting up, eventually bringing on board Michael Schumacher for 96, and then Ross Brawn and Rory Byrne, who were kind of the technical doyens of the day, let's say. So that's a potential opportunity, and he has had offers to join Ferrari before in the past, which he hasn't followed through with. But it has to be said that Newey's towards the end, getting towards the end of his career in, Formula One now. He's not the young man that he once was, let's say. He's still
what do you mean with that?
Potent as
He's
he was,
super young.
Also. But surely there's a sort of magic of ending your career with Ferrari, potentially. But there is the question of whether it's like the Ferrari of old and he won't have the autonomy that he wants, or whether Vassar is sort of bringing this revolution together and whether he feels, let's say, enfranchised by the model that Vassar's putting together. But equally, there's Aston Martin as well. Lawrence Stroll is not afraid to put his money where his mouth is. He wants to create the best team in Formula One. And he recognises the power that Newey has. And so it's not inconceivable that he puts together a big money offer. I believe that actually that's kind of already happened. He's made Newey an offer. What came of that, we don't know. We'll find out in a few days
confirmed.
or a few weeks' time. Yeah, exactly. But there must be a sort of luster of that project as well. He's been with Red Bull for such a long time. He helped build that team up, Newey, and there might be the chance to kind of do that one more time again if he enjoyed that experience of taking a team from kind of, let's say, the sort of midfield or the outer reaches of the kind of points, let's say, and thrust it into championship contention. And there's also another sort of point that Newey has made before. He made this maybe a year or so ago, that one regret of his career that he never got to work with Fernando Alonso, and with Aston Martin.
Oh shit! I mean, that would be something. Join Aston Martin and make a dumb great.
Opportunity is there. So it's going to be really interesting to see whether he follows Lewis Hamilton and gets a chance to work with him.
I hope Aston Martin and Alonso fuck Lewis Hamilton.
And joins Ferrari, or whether he wants to work with Fernando Alonso and joins Aston Martin. There may be other options available. He might, say, I've done my time in Formula One, I've had a lot of money. Let's give Haas a go. Let's give Williams a go. Let's give, take the ultimate project. It's kind of like, playing Football Manager. You want to take a team from the bottom and take them to the top. Maybe.
I hope Williams. That will be the most fun. James Walsh and Andrian
Got that kind of desire, I don't
together.
know. But it does remain to be seen. I think Ferrari and Aston Martin are definitely the key options there.
Yes, there's a lot to be learned in the next few weeks as this story continues to develop. And as always, we will keep you updated as the news continues to emerge. JVL, thank you so much for your time. And to you guys, if you have enjoyed what you've seen, make sure to like and subscribe to keep up to date with all things F1 and motorsport. Don't forget to check out autosport.com for all of our written content as well.
No.
Now, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.
Okay, so this could happen, this could also not be happening. But let's see, who more can we get information from?
What now?
Yeah, here we have something that could be interesting. What the Peter Windsor would say about any new stuff. And when the ads is done, then we can. Oh, one more ad. Then we remember know what he thinks about it. Oh, there we have it. Let's see.
Hi everyone, and welcome
Hello.
to this impromptu, short notice live stream. But, of course, with the news breaking, it appears to be 100% right, 99.9% right, that Andrian Newey is indeed leaving Red Bull. I felt that it would be good just to do a very quick live stream, just to talk about that and maybe get some of your thoughts as well. Mine are that there's a very good argument for Andrian doing nothing from here on in, having a lot of fun.
Actually true. Just cruising.
He was in Italy last week testing a Ferrari at Mugello with his mates, with Joe Macari, and he's potentially going to race a McLaren, I think, at Spa coming up as well. And he loves all that, and that's what he does. It's a lot of Andrian Newey's raison d'etre in the world, really, to go racing and be a racing driver, as I've often said. And so after 18 years, though, it looks like he's going to leave Red Bull, probably at the end of the year, I would think. And there are two things here. One, why is he leaving? And two, where's he going to go? What is he going to do? I think he's leaving. This is only my my summation, knowing Andrian a little bit. Not very much, but knowing a little bit. I suspect that everything was okay at Red Bull with the whole Christian Horner fracas until the lines were crossed, by which I mean until it became clear that Christian had been saying one thing and yet reality was something else. I can only assume it's something like that. I know Andrian quite well, and that would unsettle him, and then you'd get into a trust issue of...
Okay, interesting.
He's saying one thing, but it doesn't really look to be the case. And after 18 years of Christian Horner massaging and maintaining the most successful partnership, if you like, in Formula One history, it looks like it's come to an end because of that messy business, which is very...
That's okay. I mean, that can be true, but really? Was that it that made Newey leave?
It's sad, and it's, I don't know, maybe it's just a little microcosm of life, isn't it? We see these things happen periodically in life, incredibly successful partnerships or companies or relationships or even individuals, and it all gets broken apart because of something that seems to be quite trivial in the overall picture, but nonetheless does come under the heading of trust. And that's only my summation, and
yeah, just your opinion.
Shouldn't be, I'm not in any way saying this is gospel truth. I'm just giving my opinion of what I think has been the catalyst. And as I see it at the moment, Andrian has decided that it's probably time for him to move on anyway. I mean, where he is in life and everything that he's achieved. And this was probably something that he just found quite uncomfortable, I would think. And at the same time, he finds racing life very comfortable and racing himself, cars, historic classic Formula One cars, the Monaco Classic, all the rest of it. So there's
Okay, so will he just leave or will he join another team?
Then there's where he might go, and already we've got a lot of questions about that and where we think he might go and what it might be. I mean, here's one, for example, of I'll just bring it up. I mean, I will bring up some of the questions. I haven't got a massive amount of time, but and the first one is, this is getting serious, so there you go. But yeah, there's a lot of questions here, a lot of comments. And I'm just trying to find where I keep putting the questions. Where do they go? Here they go. And then there's another one from Arnab Daz. Newey leaving Red Bull, and where do you think he will end up if he indeed doesn't retire? Well, let's look at those options, because he's got plenty of options. In fact, the next one says, Naren Serem says, whoa, I think he's going to Aston Martin. Alonso might have signed the deal because of this promise. Well, it's possible. I think Alonso would have signed the deal anyway, even without that promise, because
yes,
it's a team in which he's found his home. He's got good backing there. The Strolls like him. He's doing a great job for Lance, sort of, and it's going to get better and better, and they've got great facilities. Of course, Aston Martin would love it. They'd all want to have Adrian Newey. That's a point that needs to be made. Ferrari,
why?
Mercedes, Aston Martin, would all want Adrian Newey for sure.
Fuck.
My
Wait.
understanding is
Oh, it's 10. Oh. It's 10 damage between the heroes. That's good. Thanks to that, I can actually more easily win this.
that already has been offered a lot of money by Aramco and Aston, therefore, and he's turned it down. That's my understanding of what the Aston situation is. And it's doesn't surprise me, because I don't think he needs the money. I don't think money's a motivation for Adrian. I think it's racing, and it's whether he enjoys it and whether it's going to fit in with what he wants to do with other things in life. And you throw £1 billion at him now, and it's not going to make a lot of difference. I think it might have 10 years ago, even maybe 8 years ago, but now I don't think so. I think he's past that point, and he can basically do whatever he wants, however he wants to do it. And my understanding is that he's already rejected that. So I'd be surprised if he goes to Aston. Of course, it's still a possibility. They could throw 2 million, 3 million at him. You know, sorry, billion, 2 billion, 3 billion at him, and he could well do. So that could happen. The next one is Mercedes, and if he's gonna go, if he's thinking,
that will be fucking the worst option. Go to Mercedes. Why would you?
they will offer him a lot of money, I would imagine.
I mean, they will. But why would you want to join Mercedes? You have Williams, you have Ferrari, Aston Martin, and even McLaren. Why Mercedes?
And if he's thinking of going there, his option would be, if I'm going to go to Mercedes, am I going to go to Ferrari? Which one would I rather go to? Because they're both two big political teams. They've both won races in the relatively recent past. He knows he can do a good job at both of them. Which one would he rather go to?
Ferrari.
My gut feeling is that he'd rather go to Ferrari if it's going to be one of those two, because it's just probably going to be a bit more fun being in Italy, a completely new challenge, and he probably has a lot of faith, I would imagine, in Freddie Vasseur, and he quite likes the whole business of a completely new challenge and winning with Ferrari, I guess. But it brings with it a lot of drama, like all the politics, the pressure. Both of them do. So will he go there? My main thought about Ferrari is, if he does go to Ferrari, I just cannot help feeling absolutely, I don't know, wretched for Carlos Sainz. Because it's one thing to have been given the news that he's got now, which is that he's got to leave at the end of the year, being fired basically at the end of the year, replaced by Lewis Hamilton. It's even worse if he knows that at the end of the year, Adrian Newey is going to be joining for Ferrari, and he's going to leave an Adrian Newey Ferrari team. I mean, that's almost too much for any human being to have to accept, really. So I really feel sorry for Carlos Sainz if Adrian does go to Ferrari. If he goes to Ferrari, almost certainly they will be straight away, I would say even in 2025, they will be race-winning team. They'll be really good in 25. Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton, Adrian Newey.
True.
Are they not going to win races in 25? Whether they win a championship, another matter. I mean, if Red Bull, don't forget the regulations are basically fixed through to the end of 2025. Then it's the new regs for 26. So Red Bull, even without Adrian in 25, he's on gardening leave or whatever, all sort of half working for Ferrari, they're going to cruise on the momentum they've got and all the things they're doing and the building blocks they've got and the team they've got there. And they will, I say cruise, they will just continue on in cruise control, if you like, into 25. And they'll still be quick in 25 and do well. But if you're Max Verstappen, you're definitely concerned about 26 and beyond. If you're Max, you're thinking, yeah, we can get through 25 probably with everybody.
Yeah. So 26 is the only time Max will actually lead Red Bull.
That's there, and the cars, we know it.
Not 25.
And the little upgrades that we've already got planned. But 26, Max will be thinking, this is serious now. I need to think about what we're going to do. If Adrian's going to Ferrari, for Max Verstappen, that's quite a big issue, isn't it? It's going to be Mercedes or staying where he is without Adrian Newey. And
yeah, why? Then it's still, why leave when you can just stay?
then it's going to be interesting. It's going to be good for Formula One. I think you can say it's going to liven up Formula One a lot. And the only way it won't be a major problem for Max is if Adrian doesn't go to Ferrari or Aston or Mercedes, and then everything's sort of neutralised and they can sort of continue more or less as they are, obviously with less input from Adrian than ever before at Red Bull, since 2005, or I think it was 2005 when he joined. So yeah, it's a difficult one for Max because he can't go to Ferrari, quite clearly. He could go to Mercedes, but are they going to be, if they don't have Adrian, are they going to be any better than Red Bull anyway? Why would you want to have George Russell in the other car? And what would Mercedes do? Would they run George with Max, or would they run Max with Antonelli maybe, and have Max there instead of George? That wouldn't be a bad option for Max. It's at least a different team, different feel to it. But Mercedes would have to look pretty good in terms of what they're doing with the car for 26 to entice him to leave Red Bull. So basically, the whole Adrian Newey thing is, I can't think of a better cliche than throwing a spanner in the works, because it has. It's really, it's really changed things around, and it's changed the dynamic of where everyone is. So there is a question here. The first one was Arnab Daz. He's talking about Jim Clark, and really this is about Adrian Newey, but I just can't resist putting this up because it's about Jim Clark, so why wouldn't I? Let me have a look to make sure that's coming up, is it? Yeah, there you go. He says, "Hello Peter, I hope you're doing well. Thanks to you, I'm Jim Clark's biggest fan. I've been watching you for almost 5 years. I never really commented much, so I wanted to ask what you make of..." Then he says, Adrian Newey leaving Red Bull. Okay, so it was a very good question, Alan. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm glad you're a Jim Clark fan. I'm going to going to Jim Clark territory this weekend, actually. On Sunday there's going to be a little memorial for Ian Scott Watson, who was Jim Clark's manager, the guy that got him into racing, really. And without Ian Scott Watson, Jim Clark may never have started racing or had the career that he had. And he passed away last year, and they're doing a nice little service for him, which we're flying over for, so looking forward to that. So Ariosto says, back to building racing boats. Well, yeah, possibly, because that's what he loves. I mean, there's lots of things that Adrian does love. I mean, that's the great thing about him. He just loves. He's got so many things he wants to do, I suspect, and he's been around a long time. Does he really want to do all that travel and have all that pressure and all those politics and stuff? Sean Rockwell says, hoping he goes to Aston Martin. The speculation of Ferrari, I don't feel that'd be a challenge, though. Really? I think it'd be a challenge. It wouldn't be a challenge to go to Ferrari. It's a challenge for anybody.
I mean, is it more challenge making Ferrari good or Aston Martin good? Come on. Or even Williams. Come on,
go to Ferrari. Luke Herzinga says it's going to be Audi. Well, there you go. There's a new one. I didn't even mention Audi. Possibly. Wow. Well, that would be good. Yeah, he'd certainly, bearing in mind, I don't know if you saw the live stream I did last week, but I'm sure he would certainly kick some energy into that place, because there isn't much going on at the moment from, I say, my buddy.
The fuck? Really? The fuck did this happen? How unlucky can I be? Not even one. Huh. Actually, sure. We take it back. Oh, it's his deck. Oh my god. Okay, that's why it was so weird. Okay.
Was just travelling through there, took some pictures over the weekend. There was just car park was empty. It's a Formula One design operation going on at the moment. I can't imagine Milton Keynes' car park's empty on a Sunday or a Saturday.
One more game.
Kim Cefala says, I really hope McLaren tries to get him back. So there's another one, Zach Brown. And then Zach, of course, is massively into his classic historic race cars as well, as is Adrian. They're probably quite good mates. They're both doing the Monaco Classic. So, you know, Zach will be in there. Absolutely, he'll be in there trying to get Adrian back, won't he?
That would be amazing. Everything but Mercedes. And Haas and Alpine. Stake F1 team kick Sauber.
Roberto D'Amico says, hi Peter, thanks for doing this live chat. Can't wait to hear your thoughts. Well, you know, I can't really say that I'm bringing massive news, but I am expressing my thoughts and why he's left, and I think his options are as I've described them. So there you go. He's already, beneath Menon, echoing what I've said. Aston already have made an offer, and he's said no to that. A lot of money. That would have been Aramco Saudi Arabian money. So good on you, Adrian. From what I understand, you know, they may treble it, and he may well go there, but at the moment, he's holding out.
That's good.
Yeah. Okay. Ibex says he predicted that Adrian would leave Red Bull. Good on you. Very good. Well, we've been talking about it for a long time. Potential for him to leave. I've always said I didn't think he'd leave because of the Horner thing, and I think I stand by that. But then I do think I think, you know, what happened there is basically 20 years ago, everybody said, oh, good on you, you know, or whatever they would have said, you know, it would have just been swept under the carpet. But now I think there's a trust thing that's happened, and I think that's the issue.
Or he just wanted to leave. Finally do something with outside Formula 1.
So anyway, Miguel G Comics. Will Max be next? If so, this may be the beginning of the end of Red Bull. Yeah, he may well be next, but if Adrian goes to Ferrari, where's Max going to go? I mean, as I say, you know, either stay where he is.
Maybe Williams. Come on, Max and Newey join Williams.
Go to Merck. 6 of one, half a dozen the other, I would imagine. Probably not really. Probably better to be at Red Bull because at least he knows the team and they've got some momentum from the whole Adrian thing. My Tin Plate Railways also saying, why not Audi? Well, there you go. Yeah, why not? Maybe. But they're designing the car at Nürburgring, aren't they? And it's going to be run out of Sauber in Switzerland. Augusto says, hi Peter, on the subject of Newey, which other designers, engineers or trackside employees would you say stand out throughout time? Thanks for the live chat. Always lovely to hear your thoughts. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
well,
true.
Obviously Colin Chapman, I would say. Funnily enough, I'm going to surprise a lot of you by saying Maurice Nunn. I always think Maurice Nunn was very underrated as a racing driver, semi-designer, race engineer, general organizer of a race team. I always think he did a very good job, and he proved to be a great race engineer when he went to Indy. So I would include, I wouldn't say he's not in Adrian Newey's class, but you're talking about standout people, and I would say he was one. Rudolf Uhlenhaut was another. Mercedes, 1950, well, all the Mercedes in the 50s. In recent times, I think Bob Bell is very good. I mean, there's so many. It's very difficult to go through them all. I mean, obviously Ross Brawn, Patrick Head, you know, well, so many of them. I can't even remember them all. They're all different in the way they operate, different talents. And as I said in the previous live stream, Adrian's, I think his genius is his ability to combine so many different talents and put them together in this one genie bottle of being a great race engineer, a very good design engineer, a very good engine engineer, and a brilliant aerodynamicist. And put them all those together, and that's Adrian Newey. You know, he's a very special guy. So Gary T says he's always dreamt of Alonso driving a Newey car. Do we have a chance now? Well, what we understand is that he's not going to go there, but You never know. Money might talk in the end. At the moment, I think he's said no to that. So that's that's where we're at with that. So Rahul Lekhi says a loss for Red Bull, but don't think anyone can benefit either, since Adrian has a clause in his contract that he can't join anyone till 2027. Is that right? Yeah, maybe. If that's right, that is quite a big deal. But
Ooh.
Toy was made just for me.
Really? 2 years leave? Maybe it's necessary in his position.
I don't know. I just can't imagine that those things really... I mean, Adrian could almost operate a design office remotely, could he not? And just be gardening and saying, no, we don't want the flange there. We want it over here. Yeah, okay, right. Gotcha. I'm just a bit sceptical about all that gardening leave stuff. I suppose it's all policeable these days, but if he's going to go to Ferrari in 27, I can't imagine that he wouldn't be talking to anybody at Ferrari between now and 2027. But if he
What
does...
the fuck is this? Okay.
Then he ain't going to be doing very much, I don't think, because he'll love life so much between now and 27 that he'll find it difficult to come back, I would imagine. Keckle says, is this already confirmed or still speculation? I'm pretty sure it's been confirmed. What does that mean?
Yeah, pretty sure that it's confirmed. You're pretty sure it's most likely, maybe confirmed.
Of course, we haven't had an email from Red Bull or from Adrian saying so. So here goes the next one here. The Gotta Damarong saying BBC is reporting that he's leaving because of unhappiness over the Horner allegations in Pastoral. He left. Lots of people. You're saying, what's going on here? Hello? My sound is too low for a laptop. What's going on? It should be. I should have my normal mic on. Am I not? Yeah, my normal mic is on. Is it not? If it wasn't, my apologies, because the audio should be perfect as normal. Maybe it got turned off or something. Sorry about that if that's the case. I think it's fine now, right? Hope so. Okay, but thanks for that, whoever left that message there, because that's not a good thing. No, it says computer is it's your computer. Sound is fine. Good, that's good to know. Thank you very much. I did click a thing there, so I want to make sure that it is. I've just got to check my sound levels now. Yeah, it looks to be perfect. Okay, good.
A 1-1. Man, he's bad.
Back to square one on that. It's so annoying when technical things go on. Ibex. Newey almost moved to Ferrari a couple of times before, around a decade ago. Offered reported 20 million. If he goes to another team, I'd say Ferrari most likely. Well, yeah, he did, absolutely. And that was very near to happening. Was it a decade ago? I thought it was more recently than that. And he got to the point where he was with Luca Montezemolo and they'd agreed a contract and agreed all the terms. But then Christian managed to salvage the deal and persuade him to stay at Red Bull. And part of that was doing the Valkyrie road car and other things that he enjoyed doing, a bit of boating. And so here he is. But yeah, I mean, I don't think it's because he almost went that he might go this time. I think Ferrari is a team, like as Lewis Hamilton's showing, that a lot of people do want to work for. And a lot of drivers, ask for Sebastian Vettel, a lot of people go there because they just want to experience what it's like going to Ferrari and working for Ferrari. So that might be sound. Sound is fine for me. Sound level's good. So
Yeah,
people
true.
talk about sound.
Sound is good.
MX says Adrian loves Verstappen in the way he works. Hopefully they will reunite. Horner loses everything. And there's a big heart there. Oh no, there's a heart for the reuniting. Yeah, I'm sure Adrian does love the way Max works. I think he loved the way Sebastian Vettel worked when they were winning races. I think Adrian's always had a lot of respect. He had a lot of respect for Mark Webber as well. Probably in his own way has quite a lot of respect for Sergio Perez as well, I think. But yeah, for sure he has a great synergy with Max Verstappen because he's just a brilliant racing driver who gets in the Adrian Newey car and gets 100% from it. So there you go.
Just 2 games.
Johan B says Adrian's wife didn't want to live in Italy. Well, maybe. All these things. What's all this? Dalibor G. So Horner will need to deal not only without Newey but also a new engine. Quite a big bite. Yeah, well, maybe Christian will think, I've had enough of all this stuff and go and do something else. Who knows? Anything can happen. I'm going to repeat.
Let's see. We need. We need to switch account. See. Yes, and then we do. No. Fuck me. Hope this will also be some games needed to be played.
Welcome back.
Let's do this again for fun. Man, why is so many cars needed to be changed? Okay, play 8 minutes that cost 1. That will probably never happen. Play 3 games, 3 warrior. Okay, yeah, and this one also gets man. Play 3 quick draw cards, no. So boring. 6 miniaturized cards. Do we have any more miniaturized? Yes. Definitely. Yes. Okay, we are done. Let's see. 3 games. Druid, Warlock or Warrior. Druid, Warlock or Warrior. Druid, Warlock, Warrior. Druid, Warlock, Warrior. So, Warrior. Then we change it up with the new stuff. Mini. Can we change just mini? Can we remove that one? That one. That one. Wait, just one? And that one. What more can we remove? Oh shit, I have that one. Sure. Back
My
to you.
point though, if he does go to Ferrari, my heart bleeds for Carlos Sainz. I mean,
Men stop caring about color signs.
imagine what that
Be happy we lose Hamilton, get a better car.
must be like walking out of Maranello for the last time, knowing that 2 days later Adrian Newey's about to join the team and do a brilliant racing car for them. Oh,
Not like he will be a champion, championship. A fight for a championship because of that.
oh, Carlos, he doesn't deserve that. On the other hand, if Adrian goes to Audi, Carlos Sainz, Audi, Mango, wouldn't that be amazing? Wouldn't it be amazing if Adrian went to Audi and Audi ran Max Verstappen and Carlos Sainz? Here's a question. How do you think it will affect the grid if Newey retires completely from the sport? Arbor Shala. Oh, it will definitely make things tighter. It'll definitely bring Red Bull back in towards the rest over a period of time. Not instantly, as I say. I think they'll 25. You won't see much effect, but I think over time it'll bring everybody back. Adrian's that special. He's that good. Just as Colin Chapman used to be that good in the 60s and 70s. So it'll be the same thing. There's a super chat here. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at that one. Higgs Boson. Hi there. Hi Peter. Thank you. Sorry, have I got this showing? No. Should have. 1 second. No, it's not coming through. Why is that not coming through? Anyway, it's a super chat and thank you very much. And he says, thank you for all your hard work and dedication to the sport. I listen to all of your live streams and videos with pleasure. It'll be interesting to see what Max does. Yeah, it will be interesting to see what Max does. I don't think... I'm sorry I couldn't get that one to come up. I don't know why. I don't think...
Such a waste. Shield Slam. You waste... Man. You wasted the fire axe on my face and then you waste a Shield Slam. Yeah. The pro gamer move.
Max has got much... Well, it depends. You know, Max will follow Adrian if Adrian goes to
And wasted
Mercedes.
Blaystone.
Probably. I can't imagine Mercedes wouldn't want to get Max with Adrian. But I don't think he would to Aston Martin. And because they've got Fernando and they'll keep Stroll in the other car. So and he can't go to Ferrari. So it's kind of difficult, isn't it?
Andrian Newey and Max Verstappen to Williams hype. It will happen.
Luke
Probably
Dermott is saying, what happens if Adrian goes to Mercedes? How annoyed will Lewis Hamilton be?
Yeah, true.
Say that again. I mean, that's a good point, isn't it? Imagine if that did happen. Imagine Lewis. Oof, that's all actually worse situation than for Carlos Sainz, probably. Omar Sibeles says hello, and I'm saying hello back. Thank you very much. What else? RS60 Alec says Adrian Newey to Scuderia. Yeah, to the Scuderia Ferrari. Carlos Perez says, that's a good name, says howdy from Austin. I'm not doing a very good job of bringing these up, am I? It's so flaky, this chat thing tonight. It's probably just very busy internet or something. Aston maybe says CH3MG33K. We're going to release a few more chats now. I'm going to go to the bottom and work back, I think. Might be quite fun. What's all this? In my opinion, Peter has become the E.F. Hutton of F1. I think that's a compliment, is it? I hope so. If it's not, I'm sorry. I do my best. And there's a lot more down here. How about... Yeah, a lot of people are saying Audi.
Yeah, why would... That would be the most greatest thing ever. Go to a new team that you can make super great. From the start.
What about this one? A Rosberg Hamilton. Don't you think we at least deserve a Rosberg Hamilton-like battle by Red Bull replacing Perez with Sainz? Now that's an interesting thought, isn't it? Now that is an interesting thought, Omar, who's raised that point. If Adrian has now left Red Bull, will that change the dynamic of Red Bull wanting to keep Sergio Perez alongside Max, or maybe get Carlos Sainz in the car? It's a very good thought, because they may say, well, we may not have the same advantage in 2025. We need the two best guys we can get. Finish with all this, wingman for Max. And Carlos Sainz, they may say, is quicker than Sergio Perez. Let's get Carlos Sainz in the car alongside Max. That might happen. I hadn't thought of that. That's a good point. Thank you very much, Omar. Apo Papava says Audi, 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 Audi. Okay, good. A lot of people think he might go to Audi. So here we go. Some could potentially be driving a Newey car. Should he go to Ferrari or Aston Martin, the Pininfarina of the current era? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I mean, road cars, race cars, boats, he can do it, can't he? John82 says Carlos needs a multi-year contract. He deserves that. You're absolutely right. He does deserve it. He's done a very good job. So, Redlingstein says, and please don't forget, it's gone, sorry. Oh, here we don't forget, it's not Newey alone, but a full team of aero engineers and Wacker and Wash and Monaghan that are the technical design team at Red Bull Racing. Well, Paul Monaghan, top man, great guy. I'm not sure he spends that much time behind a drawing board doing CFD. He's a real great performance race engineer, head of performance engineering, I think. So it will definitely have an effect. I mean, obviously, as I say, Adrian will have built up a great team there, and they will have learned a lot from Adrian. And the team will continue in 25, winning races for sure. Whether they win a championship now is not so much of a given. That's what I think is the situation. Paul Muscat says, I think he will go to Aston Martin as Lawrence Stroll will want to complete the team. Well, Lawrence Stroll will want to complete the team, and he will want to have Adrian Newey. Whether or not Adrian wants to go there, and whether or not he's going to take the Aramco Stroll money to do that, I don't know. Paul Lavallee says, Hello from Canada, Peter. You have the most trusted content on the internet. Thank you so much. It's very kind of you to say so. I'm feeling a little bit in the dark at the moment. So I'm not saying to anyone, this is what Adrian's going to do. But I think it's because he doesn't actually made a decision. And I think he is, at the moment, he's just decided to leave for the reasons that I expressed. And I think, we'll see what happens. And if he doesn't race again, absolutely hats off to Adrian and congratulations on a brilliant career. Scroopy Noopers. Peter, when are you moving to Cape Town? Well, I'd love to move. Well, I don't want to move to Cape Town. I'd love to visit Cape Town pretty soon, actually. Thank you very much. That's a semi-invitation. I love it. Let's have a look.
Oh my god, this is super good.
Says Aston Martin bound, not Ferrari. 1 year gardening leave. We're talking about Aidan Millward, as Adrian already started a 2025 concept 26 car in his mind. I'm sure he has, but in his mind I'm sure Adrian's also thinking, the rule book was this big, now it's this big, do I really want to do this?
Yes.
I keep clicking on something and there's so many questions coming in that it goes on to the next one. Make Alonso champion again. There you go, Josh the boss. Well, yeah, I think if Adrian went to Aston Martin, I think Alonso would be world champion. I think he would. The whole gardening leave thing and what Adrian can do in 25 obviously is a big thing. But
True.
There's no doubt that if he was there, it would be very, very good for Adrian, for Fernando Alonso. It'd be difficult to design a new car by a new team with a cost cap. Peter, it's just flashing. It's moving so quickly. Here's another super chat. Anyway, let's have a look. Oh, it's the same one. Sorry. Just a bit clearer this time. Rob Marshall at McLaren. Maybe he would go there with Rob Marshall. Yeah, Sleepy Pixie. Good point. Rob Marshall there now. Lots of years and experience with Adrian. Adrian probably very... I think he hired Rob, didn't he? So he would like Rob Marshall a lot. And maybe that's a good thought. Maybe he'd go to...
Oh shit, they're playing one.
Zach Brown, they can race their classic McLarens and maybe he'll let Adrian go out in the MP4
2 more matches
periodically. Maybe, it's not completely and utterly impossible. Adrian with Rob Marshall at McLaren, nice setup. I think they've got good people on the ground there. It's a well-run team. Yeah, he could do that.
Hopefully.
A lot of my...
make a Piastri, make Lando Norris win the first win, and then the first win for Oscar Piastri. And maybe a championship with Oscar or Lando Norris.
Mind reading going on. Yep, you're absolutely right. We're all mind reading. Oh, Apo Papava says he's going to the FIA. Yeah, right. I don't think this will happen, says Ibex, but I'd love to see Newey end his career back with the greatest Formula One team ever, Williams.
Yeah, come on, Peter Windsor, you must believe that too. That must be the truth.
Well, being a Williams fan, sort of, I say sort of, I'm a Williams fan of the Williams that I know and love. So I would love to see that as well. Well, no, I wouldn't. I don't think I'd want to see him at the current Williams, to be honest. Baumik Sutha says,
but that is the greatest challenge you can ever have. Make them great again.
Are you visiting the Formula 1 exhibition in Toronto, opening next week? Thank you very much for that. I'm not actually going to be at the opening. I'm definitely going to be going to the exhibition, and obviously I'll be putting in a lot of work for that Toronto exhibition and looking forward to seeing how it looks with its Canadian slant. And I think everyone's going to love it. We've had tremendous reception for the opening of Toronto, and it's going to be good. Looking forward to it.
Oh my gosh, so much armor.
Surprisingly enough, there's a lot of Villeneuve in there. What else are we going to do? I'm going to have to wind it up soon because this is an impromptu one. Niaida Vida says, it will be a shock if he moves back to McLaren. I'm sure it's a long shot. Dacia says, Newey will go to Aston Martin and in 25 Max will join in the Alonso seat. Really? But they've just, I don't think, what's Alonso going to do at that point? sue them for $1 billion and probably get the money, I suppose, of what will happen. Another super chat coming. Is that one?
Now that takes me back.
Yes, from Zubia Crazy Z Bassi Y. With Red Bull in no rush to make a decision and Daniel's uptick in form, Sergio starting to look replaceable again. Do you agree? Kind of. Yeah, it's no, they're in no rush to make a decision. I mean, everybody in the world wants to drive for Red Bull, even with Adrian having said what he's going to leave. I'm not sure about Daniel. I think there's more chance maybe for Carlos Sainz to go there, which would be, I think it'd be great if he did. But equally, if Adrian's going to go to Audi, that's where obviously Carlos Sainz needs to be.
Carlos Sainz and Hülkenberg.
Airfar says, is it Lance who wants to drive in Formula One, or is Lawrence forcing his son to stay in Formula One? I don't know. I really don't know.
No, even more armor.
I think Lawrence, the father, believes his son is quite capable of winning the World Championship. And usually when anything bad happens to Lance, like he runs into the car in front, he's always blaming the car in front and not Lance. He's a total fan of Lance Stroll. Unsurprisingly, he's his dad. And he's doing the whole thing for his son to have the tool he needs in order to win races. So whether Lance still has the burning desire and fire in his belly is another matter. I don't know. I don't know him at all, so I can't really say. I know he quite likes the idea of rallying. I think he's quite good at tennis, isn't he? But then, to his credit, he's done a lot of work with Rob Woods, and that does show that there's a side of him which understands that he does need to work hard at this, and potentially, he can learn every time he goes there, which is the right attitude. This is from Nawal, another super chat. Thank you, Nawal. I don't know why these super chats aren't showing. Every time I click on them, they just go faint. It's very odd. Hi, Peter. Hope you're well. Does the fact that Mr. Newey nailed the 2022 regulations mean that he will do so in 26? Well, yeah, I think he will nail them. Well, it's slightly different because he nailed the 22 regulations because basically all the design work for the rest of the car was put to a minor consideration. All of the emphasis was on how to maximize the ground effect that you're able to generate under the car with the minimum amount of bouncing and the maximum amount of efficient downforce so that you could run a lot of downforce with not a lot of drag. And Adrian pulled that off brilliantly, and he's had an advantage ever since. In 26, the regulations are going a different way because it's 50% electrification. So that is a completely different emphasis on the new Formula One. And then it's not as much talk about we've got to have cars that make it easy.
Really? Man, this trades. Okay, what can I do? I mean, I can draw more cards.
Easy to follow the car in front, and the aero is designed for this and that. It's all about electrification and active aero and other things, and it's not the same as the 22 regs. It's not to say that Adrian wouldn't be able to embrace all that and maximize everything. Whether he loves the concept of 50% electrification and it probably going even further as we go down the road is another matter. I've never asked him, funnily enough. I suppose I should have, but it just seems such a trite question. What do you think of electric cars? I've never asked him, but for a guy that his nirvana is to race a 1968 Lotus 49B around Monaco, you wouldn't ask him what he thinks of electric cars, would you? So I can't imagine Adrian's completely in love with the new 26 regulations. That's another important point, isn't it? So,
God damn it.
Sleepy Pixie thinks McLaren. I think that's what he's saying. Rob Marshall there. Blah.
I will never win
So,
this if this is really a fucking try hard.
So so I was just going back to that super chat. So that was good. Lawson, with a lot of chat about Lawson now. El Bastardo 74. Peter, can Newey really change Ferrari as Schumacher did? Oh yeah. Michael did a very good job of bringing very good engineers and management people to Ferrari with Jean Todt
So
and
much
Osborne,
true.
and had a great setup there. It's a different thing, and there's no doubt. I mean, Enzo Ferrari himself always said, you know, when you cross the line, it's to win a race, it's 60% car, 40% driver. That's not to say that the driver often doesn't play more than a 40% role. He does play a 40% role. Did I say 50 or 40? I meant 40 if I said 60, 40%. And if he does, that 40% often becomes 50, sometimes more, if a really good driver is getting the maximum from a mediocre car, enabling a very good team of engineers then very rapidly to develop that car to new peaks. And then that driver has obviously played a greater role than 40%. But when the job is done and the car is good and the driver's good and everything's happening, it's 60-40 in Enzo's mind. I kind of agree with him on that. And so I think in this instance, it would be good team of drivers, pretty good management, new engineer going in with new engineering philosophy, changing the way Ferrari design and work and creating a faster racing car. That in itself is a huge step, huge leap, and it's one person.
So much
more. In my opinion, it's not really comparable with the Michael thing, because the Michael thing was a complete package, whereas this would be just Adrian going in and doing what he does. But the effect will be just as dramatic, if not more so, actually. He'll take Ferrari from, he goes there, he'll take Ferrari from being a team that is sort of closing the gap to Red Bull, but still quite a long way away over a season.
Okay. Sure. Who will win? I won! Back to
in terms of time
Windsor.
management and everything else, to a team that's actually quite quickly probably better than Red Bull. Almost certainly will be championship, you know, almost straight away. Some more super chats. Sammy LJ, what if it's not just the car? Sergio Lowe is the Red Bull standard and Max is just a superb human. Is he a robot? Has anybody checked? Yeah, I mean, you're right. And obviously, and the reason you can say, well, you know, if it was only Perez in the car and
Man, I
another
should
driver,
remove
not
the
Max,
draws if I
Red
have
Bull
all
wouldn't
this
be winning
cool
races. They
stuff.
wouldn't be winning championships. But the whole point is the reason Perez is in the car is because Max is in the other car. And if they didn't have Max, they wouldn't have Perez and some, you know, they wouldn't have Perez and Bottas, for example. They would have Leclerc, or they would have Hamilton, or they'd have Russell, or somebody, or Lando maybe. They'd have somebody, a race winner in there. So that comparison is a little bit spurious, if that's the right word. This is from Masson. If Adrian Newey goes to Ferrari, is there time for the move to help Lewis win another Drivers' Championship and Ferrari Team Championship, in your opinion? Yes. Yes, there is. As I say, behind the scenes, without turning up for work at Maranello, I think Adrian could do quite a lot to steer Ferrari on the straight and narrow and get them in a position where they're giving Leclerc and Hamilton a race-winning car. Definitely. But it wouldn't be an obvious thing, because, you know, if he's got to work out gardening leave, he's got to work out gardening leave, isn't he? But he can still do quite a lot from the flower bed, in my opinion. Matthew Brown, another super chat. Thank you very much, Matthew. Ferrari doesn't seem like they need Adrian on their current form. Mercedes look like a proper challenge to tackle.
Man, the motor.
Yeah, it does.
Want a game more?
Yeah,
Please,
don't be
yes, one
deceived.
more
I
game.
mean, Max is winning races at the slowest possible speed. Yes, Ferrari have done a much better job than Mercedes over the winter at closing the gap to Red Bull, and they've got a car with more downforce now, more efficient, usable downforce. They've lost a bit of top speed. That's the problem. And it's a very difficult balance to generate more downforce without losing top speed. And that's what Adrian would be looking at if he went there right now. Not that he can because of the whole gardening thing, but he would be looking to get
That was a fun
more
game.
top speed out of the car for sure, because they're slower than Red Bull circuit to circuit in
Come
a
on,
straight
don't you
line.
want to be a friend?
And then beyond that, more downforce, more usable downforce, by which I mean
Sad loser.
drivable, sweet spot stuff. And I don't think Ferrari are there, so I don't think you would say, oh, on their current form, Ferrari don't need Adrian. They do, for sure they do. Any team needs Adrian Newey. It's quite easy to fall
true.
off the wagon.
Every team. Like Williams. So, man,
The
believe in that.
pleasure is mine.
And if you lose a driver like Adrian quite quickly. Mercedes, yeah, before it's for sure a challenge. Both of them would be challenges though, because Ferrari would be a challenge and it'd be a new country, new team, new culture, new everything. Mercedes, a little bit like Red Bull, just up the road or down the road, and yeah, different challenges. You know, be good in some ways, but
Mistakes.
more difficult in some ways, probably a bit more bureaucratic, I would think. Actually, I think Ferrari, if he's going to go to Ferrari, they'd give him a clean sheet of paper to have complete autonomy. I would imagine. I'm sure that's what Freddie would say. Was that Matthew Brown's question? Yeah, I think we've done all the super chats. Thank you so much. I'm going to have to wind it up now, guys, because I've got lots of other stuff I need to get onto. But I just wanted to do this and share this moment with everybody, you know, out there, because when big events happen, it's always a big thing. Apo Papava, again, thanks for all
Come
your
on,
questions. Peter,
on your
don't you
turn.
think that? Just want to make sure these are coming through. There they are. Don't you think that Adrian? Let's see what it was. Don't you think that for Adrian, if it's not for the money, going to a team like Haas with Behrman next year would be the ultimate challenge? Yeah, he would love that. He'd probably love something like that. But I think he's been around a bit too long to keep wanting those challenges of
The last game is
refreshing his
played.
motivation.
Fuck
He's
this
got
game.
enough things to refresh him just by classic Formula One and boats and road cars and all the other stuff. And Harry, his son, who's very good racing driver, should have been given a better opportunity to race and show his talent, I think, than he was given.
And everything's
sure
done.
Adrian-
Yeah, fuck me. Now we can leave this game and actually go to... Oh, fuck me. Well, it was harsh on... It was like... This was anything to see. Fucking it's harsh on. Go. Let's actually do fun stuff. Minecraft. For maybe 20 minutes or something. Fuck, where is Minecraft? Minecraft start. I want Minecraft up. I hate how that works. New launcher homepage. Yeah, it's time now. Let's see. 313 fishes have been collected. So let's see how many more fish we can get.
Thinks that, and he's got his family life. He's all those things out there. I don't think Adrian's sitting here thinking, oh, I need a challenge, in the same way that he made that decision to go to Red Bull, leaving McLaren and Williams to go to this team that he could bring up. I don't think that's the motive. I don't think that'll be the motivation, to be honest.
Maybe. But it could be.
So yeah, Scroopy Noopers says, he's talking to Andre here. Well, it was all about why he was in Italy, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to... Damon Hill saying Newey should look at McLaren. Well, I think he should look at McLaren. because, as I say, you know, Rob is a really good bloke, good guy, like Rob Marshall a lot, very talented man, good people manager as well, nice person. Zach doing a pretty, you know, impressive job there these days, and Adrian and Zach will have all those other things in common, you know, long distance sports car racing,
New fish for the
classic
collection.
cars. In a way, there's a lot of stuff there, isn't there? Anyway, guys, I'm going to have to wind it up now because it's going on, and we can talk about this for hours, and I'm sure you guys will in the pub or wherever you're going to be or wherever. But in the meantime, thanks everybody for queuing in on this and taking part, and everybody who haven't got to, my apologies yet again. I feel bad when I can't get to everybody's questions, but thanks for watching. We'll do some more stuff, and if Adrian does make a decision or there's more news breaking on all of that, obviously we'll get on to the live stream again. So watch this space, I guess, is what we're saying. So thanks very much, everyone. See you soon. Be safe.
I will. Oh shit, at least when the next news comes. Let's see, do anyone have Formula 1 done anything? Nope. P1. Nope. Nothing from the race. Nothing there. Alright, let's see what James Wows have on the Chinese Grand Prix.
China was the first sprint race weekend of 2024 and the first of this new format, which I think
for the
worked fairly well. So the changes are now that we're doing the sprint race qualifying on Friday evening. On Saturday morning, we're doing the sprint race, and then we're back into a normal qualifying on Saturday afternoon race. GP on Sunday. It does make it a busy weekend. So with just 1 hour to get the car right in FP1, it does make it tricky to be absolutely on point in qualifying just a few hours after that.
True.
However, the change is now that we can have a different car setup for Saturday afternoon and Sunday. Effectively, perhaps even two different setups if you wish across both parts of the weekend. And that creates a different dynamic, a different solution set that we have to work to, but I think a more interesting one for the sport and for ourselves. In terms of the result itself, we clearly underperformed in that first qualifying on Friday. The car was more potent than that, but the tyres were just on a knife edge. You only get one set of medium tyres in Q1, and it was getting damaged very early on. In the case of our car, in fact, just after a few corners on that flying lap, it lost a lot of potential. And a lot of the work we did across the weekend was really creating a better car balance, a better setup that enabled us to get more out of that tyre come qualifying on Saturday afternoon. The other element of the weekend is across the last few races, it's quite clear a number of our competitors have brought quite sizable updates. Alpine, Haas and Sauber included in that, and we're falling behind in that regard. It's down to us now to make sure that we update the car sufficiently across the next 3 or 4 races to catch back up and start fighting for points again. In terms of the result, it was disappointing to finish behind the Alpine and behind the Haas, and there were other things we could have done in the race, including just a slightly different strategy, slightly better pit stop that may have put us 1 position further forward, and even then it's a question mark, but ultimately not in a position to fight for points at that event. And what we need to do now is make sure that we fight and bring the fight forward. There's many races left in the season, and fight back into a position where we're scoring points.
Ingen borr, ingen hammare. Tesa själväftande spikar. Enkelt, säkert, inga hål. Tesa, tada!
When you move your body,
no. Oh, I can skip it.
You move your.
Come on. Where this?
Welcome to the Val's verdict, presented by Kraken.
Fucking music time.
It's a good question. It's not driver error. Across the last few races, just a matter of seconds has separated us from the point-scoring car in P10. In China, that was just 5 seconds. The closest it's been is 1 second, and Japan was the furthest away, obviously following an incident with Alex at the beginning of the race. Those are fine margins, and it really describes well what's going on in the midfield at the moment, whereby there are 4 teams within just a millisecond or 2 of each other. And on the day, one of those teams will move forward or backwards, depending on which team gets it.
Yeah, and hope one day Haas will never move back and then never
Spot
go
on.
forward.
We didn't have a quick enough car in China. I think that was fairly evident. Even when we were running in position, we weren't able to progress forwards, and there was no opportunity to separate or do something different enough to put us in that position. Part of that is that a whole season is a development race between teams. We're trying to continuously bring performance to the car. We have a few bits that have been added. We've got more coming to Miami, a lot more coming to Imola, but the rate of that between the different teams will always be different. And what's happened is Sauber and Haas and Alpine now have brought some strong aerodynamic developments, and I think you're seeing the result of that, and we've dropped back just a little bit to them. In truth, in that race, we had a number of cars retire or get caught up in accidents. So we just simply weren't where we should be performance-wise, where we need to be performance-wise. It's a long season though, and there's plenty of developments coming in the pipeline, but we've got to make sure they get to the car as quickly as possible and we start delivering performance. Logan on that last stint was using a lot of the front tyre to rotate the car, and that's been an inherent weakness all weekend. I think you saw that in sprint qualifying, so that Friday qualifying, we just weren't there or thereabouts, and it's because we damaged that front tyre after just a few corners.
Yeah,
And
true.
fell back. The same in the race. We did a lot of balance changes, a lot of setup changes to put us in a better position, but that was a very long stint we're asking for Logan, and he started right tucked up against another competitor. The result of that was he was sliding in the front just a little bit too much.
Can you fish for the
and
collection?
drop-off is enormous.
Maybe.
Short answer, no. We need to improve our pit stops.
One
There's
more,
no doubt about
yes.
it. We have active programs in place for the medium and long term in order to do that. It's not something you just improve overnight. I think we're behind on equipment relative to the top teams, and that's something we have to invest in and bring forward. But ultimately, that pit stop was a little bit slow, put us behind Sonoda's traffic and cost us on front tyres. But that wasn't a point-scoring position. It made a gap to Esteban, but didn't allow us to undercut Esteban or be ahead of him. And we needed to be ahead of the Haas to have an opportunity to score points, and that simply wasn't on the table.
True. Fuck Haas. They just ruin everything for the good teams.
It was a harsh penalty. When you see just matters of tenths translate into seconds, that's difficult. And more so, it's very difficult for the driver to have adjudicated whether it was ahead or behind. So the responsibility falls to us, and we missed it. We need to develop more and better automated tools that allow us to see what's going on at that point. Because it took us multiple camera replays before even we could see where the difference was. For the onboards, which we have video for, you couldn't tell who was ahead and who was behind. The way penalties work is when it's in race like that, there's nothing you can do. You can't appeal it. Once the penalty has been provided and given, it's over effectively.
Man, that's unlucky. Ruins someone's race.
Adjudicated by the FI, and the adjudication was correct. We were behind at the line. Those are facts. What we have to do is improve our system and processes to make sure we catch that faster, because you can correct it. Logan would have to have slowed down during that initial incident. A few seconds later, let the car back through again, and then that would have corrected that position. It's fine margins, but that's what Formula One is all about.
Orphea need to give the camera angles better, so you can easily find it.
Short answer, yes. We'd already identified that based on the sprint race, the cars in the first lap were actually quite slow relative to expectations. And from starting from the pit lane, we strongly expected Logan to be on the back of the pack by the end of the lap. And that's exactly what it transpired. So what you lost out on was the ability to take a car, or maybe two, on the initial start phase, and perhaps with some dicing on the first lap of the race. In translation for some setup experiments, which aren't just for Miami, they're also there for the much longer term in understanding how the car's performing in slightly different aerodynamic configurations, but also understanding if there are items we can do to work with the Pirelli tyres. So Pirelli set prescriptions for all teams. They're effectively in the form of temperatures for the blankets, but also pressures of where you leave the garage.
We can
and
go down with
pressures, and they're there for safety. That's the core part of the reason behind it, and applied to all of us equally. So it's a fair situation. What happened is those prescriptions did change between Saturday to Sunday, and that was one of the opportunities where it's enough on the front where you might want to try a different setup direction, which is what we were trying with Logan, to see if we can use that to our benefit or not, given we can start from the pit lane. In terms of understanding, we have a good set of data now with both different aerodynamic configurations.
Oh,
And
you have?
the work is not one of minutes afterwards, but rather of days to make sure we completely understand the characteristic differences and the performance differences. So yes, the experiment was very much a success. The actual outcome it will take still a few more days to fully understand.
So can we be sure now that Williams will score some points?
That is really the million-dollar question, which is where are we going to be quick going forwards? We have a car that is definitely better balanced than it was last year. It's also much better in a mix of conditions, whether it's windy, whether it's wet, whether it's dry, whether it's transitioning. There are multiple items that are just simply better than before. In terms of the real question, which is what tracks, I think it will go better in Miami than we did last year. I think, surprisingly, Monaco
So points. Give points to Williams.
may also be a strong track for the car coming up in these next few races.
Really?
But what you're really seeing at the
More
moment
points.
is a development race, an aerodynamic development race between teams. And we've got to
I'm
make sure
really hoping for points. Man. Taishi. The fuck
we're
is that?
fighting at the front of that. It's a very close fought battle where the 10th is now really making a difference race on race, and we're going to make sure that we get there and fight for points soon.
Gillette Labs,
Okay.
Neon Night Edition.
Man, click pause. Go away. And let's do one last thing, and that's with Kym Illman.
G'day. Celebrities
G'day, mate.
love the Miami Grand Prix. The warm weather, the world's media, and a chance to see the best drivers in the world draws them in droves. In this video, I'll run through some of the A-listers.
Oh
that
shit, why celebrities love the Miami Grand Prix? Probably because everyone is in Miami. Less people is maybe going to Texas.
I've shot over the years, plus preview the 2024 race.
Okay.
Miami, May 3 to 5, Hard Rock Stadium sees the world's best drivers taking part in the third Miami Grand Prix. This is a track that's built in a car park and wraps around the stadium. It'll be 30 degrees Celsius, about 86 Fahrenheit, and we'll see the world's best drivers on track for 3 days, watched by an enthusiastic crowd and a throng of celebrities. This is the third year of the event.
Is that
and
the
over
new
those
fish
years,
for the
I've
collection?
photographed the
And it
likes
looked
of
like
Michael
that.
Jordan, Michelle Obama, both guests of Mercedes, Bad Bunny, who arrived with Checo Perez, Vin Diesel, David Beckham. Of course, David heads up into Miami, so I'm thinking, is there a chance that this year we'll see Lionel Messi? Whew, that would be huge, wouldn't it? I'll be putting my feelers out to see whether or not F1 has invited him, or perhaps even a team invites Lionel. Of course, he's going to get very little peace in the paddock.
I mean, David Beckham. Oh wait, what did he say? I mean, if they are invited, surely Kym Illman is also invited.
Celebrities in the Miami paddock are typically mobbed. Now, have you heard of Surfshark? Surfshark is a VPN, a virtual private network.
Okay, I really don't care about that. And I heard of it. And
It's for free from Surfshark when you use the promo code Kym. There's a link in the description below.
Oh,
Other
nice.
celebrities who may pop up. Michael Douglas, an avid F1 fan. Gabrielle Union, we've seen her at past races. Serena and Venus Williams. Pharrell Williams. Will.i.am, Lindsey Vonn, Roger Federer. Rappers, Ludacris, IDK, J Balvin, Martin Garrix, the DJ, Dax. Chris Gale, the cricketer. Ivana Noel, a model, LL Cool J, Queen Latifah, my gosh, it's a huge list, isn't it? Tiesto, the DJ, Jonas Brothers, Tom Cruise, Kabi Lame, Alice Walton, one of the richest people in the world, another moneyed man, Jeff Bezos from Amazon, and we've also had James Corden there, and funnily enough, he was greeted with a lot of negativity on the post that I put up when he appeared going back to the first year of the Miami GP. I always liked the guy, but he's not well liked by many, according to those comments. Patrick Mahomes, one of my most popular hosts, the Kansas City quarterback, Australian golfer Greg Norman, and one of the strangest characters, certainly the most animated I've seen for a long time, is DJ Khaled. And where will they likely be hanging around? and maybe some corporate boxes, perhaps even the F1 garage, which is down in pit lane next to, I think, Red Bull. And what they like about that particular facility is that there are few, if any, autograph hunters in there. They're pretty much left to their own. Other notables who may pop up, IndyCar driver Pato O'Ward.
Hi.
IndyCar drivers like Callum Ilott or Marcus Ericsson have attended in the past, as has
Alex
Romain
Palou.
Grosjean. This year we have a sprint race weekend. That's sprints back to back. Also, there's
sprint.
F1 Academy and Porsches on track. The track itself is 5.4 kilometres and features 57 laps. Tickets. Can you still get tickets? Yes, I had a flick around on SeatGeek. Get them as low as $34 for a Friday. That's giving them away. And at the other end of the scale, $5K for a Sunday ticket. But I still think that's cheaper than Austin and Las Vegas, and certainly I did notice this advertising in the paddock in the last race in China, so there are still tickets available. How do you get to the track? Well, first of all, you've got to get to Miami, and for me, it's a 36-hour trip. It's grueling. Perth to Sydney, 5-hour layover. Sydney to LA, 7-hour layover. And I think another 4 or 5 to Miami. But I'll do it in comfort, and you'll be along with me on the journey because I will do a travel video. Once you're in Miami, getting to the track, probably best with a car. Although, remember, they do block off a couple of the freeways.
So long.
The Hard Rock Stadium's about a 50-minute drive from downtown in an interesting area, I'll say. The track itself, not pretty. Lots of wire, obviously, because it's a street track. The starting straight, less than impressive. Exit of turn 2 is nice photographically. And there are some palms and a freeway shot at turns 14 and 15. Oh, and the podium position is interesting. It's on one side of the stadium and it's not the same side as the garages. So when the drivers get out of their cars in pit lane, they then come through the stadium in golf buggies to come out onto the podium. There is a fake harbour with all these boats on that you can sit on board and watch the race, and that has come under a fair amount of fire. It's a little cringeworthy.
Yeah, true. The fuck, why would... Yeah. People need to have money, stuff to waste.
There's a chairlift, which is, I think, the only track with a chairlift. I'll stand corrected on that, but I'm guessing yes. And the Hard Rock Beach Club is right out there. It's the only track with a beach club, although it's not like a Win Encore Beach Club in Las Vegas. I think they'd like it to be, but it's not quite of that quality. It is open to those 21 years of age and older, and I did see some tickets the other day for $1,750 for 3 days, which I thought wasn't too bad considering they have musicians on the stage performing, and those concerts are beamed around the track. And of course, beachwear is more than encouraged, and I remember this picture I put up a couple of years ago, and a lot of people went crazy about it, but this is the way they dress in Miami. It's almost mandatory. While on the subject of fashion, we do see some amazing stuff at this race. Teams will often put out a Miami-themed outfit. I remember last year Nico Hülkenberg was very happy in these colourful Palm Angel suits. Charles Leclerc was in blue, Lewis in sequins on one day, and even Martin.
Yeah, Lewis Hamilton with his GTA 5 clothes.
Brundle stepped out of his comfort zone with something a little bit comfortable. And I'll be stepping out in this colourful number on at least one of the days. So the racing over the past couple of years, I don't remember it too vividly, but there was nothing outstanding, I think, that happened, was there? If so, comments below. But yeah, it typically hasn't excited me, both racing-wise.
Come on. Let's see. Yeah, let's see. Okay, this one I just put in. So out with that. Magenta pink.
And photography-wise. But here are the podiums from the first two races. Let's have a look now at the paddock. It changed from year one when it was all down here at ground level, outside the stadium. And then last year, it went to inside the stadium, which I thought was a great idea, on the AstroTurf.
Right.
The thing I loved about this was that the crowd could actually come into the stands and sit and cheer. And they would cheer every time they saw a driver out in the open. It was great because our media centre is actually situated at the very top level of the stadium. And we sit in corporate boxes overlooking this. So when you hear a scream, you can actually open the window, with your long lens and shoot from the media centre. And where are the
Yeah,
drivers'
sure.
change rooms? Well, they too are up in corporate boxes well up in the rafters. So they've got 3 areas that they can be in. They can be in their change room up there, they can be in their hospitality suite down there,
Nope.
or they can be in the garage. And moving around is quite a lengthy procedure, and it often entails drivers either running or heading out on their scooters so that they're not
Nope.
mobbed. Where should you stay if you're going to the event? Well, there's a myriad of options. I stayed at
No,
Aventura
yes,
last
there's
year in the
Somerton
Hilton,
Fish.
and it was lovely. It's
Red,
only about
yellow.
a 25-minute drive to the track, which is more than tolerable. If you come from the city, downtown, it's probably 50 minutes, even longer in bad traffic. It might be a little bit longer too from South Beach, although South Beach does have a bit more character. None of the options are terribly cheap. If you go down to the beach, say at Hollywood, yeah, there's some apartments down there. And if you're flying in, you can fly into Miami International Airport or into Fort Lauderdale. I do like Miami for the shopping. There's a great shopping centre not far away from the Hilton in Aventura. And in town, there's just a myriad of places to shop. And I've always managed to find great food. Somebody asked me what my favourite Miami shots were. And I flicked through my images and I thought, yes, this one. Sebastian Vettel with his undies on the outside of his race suit. Now, I imagine some of you would have no idea what that was about. So let me enlighten.
I have. He trying to be fancy because he didn't like them trying to force the rules.
I knew there was some talk that drivers were going to be checked, that they had fireproof underwear on because they have
Yeah,
to.
for safety. And Sebastian Vettel took it like a prank.
So Seb thought he'd have a dig at them and wear his underwear over the top of his race suit. But he only did it on one occasion, and
yeah, why not every...
wasn't that much media around. He came from his dressing room to the garage.
Yeah, Sebastian Vettel, follow the rules.
Garage before a session, and I fluked getting a shot of him with his trainer running behind. And another protest, this time by Lewis Hamilton at the Miami GP, was him wearing 2 watches in response to the FIA saying no jewellery allowed when...
Yeah, but if for safety, stopping so fucking sad. Purple, green, purple, black. Red, orange. Light blue. Oh, they were light blue. Light blue magenta. Yellow. Oh. Nice. Oh, orange. Wait, red, orange, red. Oh my god. Okay, so 3 fishes. So 320 fishes do I have now?
When you're in the car, it was referring to, I think, was it a nose ring he had? Or an earring, one or the other? So that's how he protested.
Also for safety, and then take it like a prank.
In summary, my verdict of the Miami Grand Prix is it's an okay event. It's not my favourite, but I do love it for the glitz and glamour of the crowd, in particular the celebrities that make it into the paddock. I also love it because there's no internet dramas like we had in China in the previous race. Getting in and out of the track is pretty good. Track picks are, so-so. But for me, the draw card is the people. And I'll be looking forward to meeting some of you people at that Miami GP in a meet and greet on the Friday of the event.
Another one.
And if you've got any of my books or prints and you want to bring them along for me to sign, I'll gladly do that for you. Oh, and I've just released a brand new signed print collab with Fernando Alonso. If you're going to the Miami Grand Prix, I think you'll enjoy yourself. Certainly the Americans do know how to put on an event. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, and for those of you not yet subscribed, please do it. And for my best images live from the track and during the week, head across here to my Instagram channel. Thanks for watching.
And stay passionate.
The track itself, 5.4 kilograms.
What? That's really not. Oh my god, what do you call it? Not overweight track. But yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. So say until